Hey, welcome back to my Flash Reviews. This episode we see that Wally's back and his speed is actually really amazing. It reminds me of Sonic. You guys watched that film? Ava tells Iris that she wants that her husband Joseph tried to bring her back from the mirror dimension. But to Iris it made sense for her, but to me I feel like how would he know that he's in the mirror dimension? How did Ava ever said it? I felt like Ava said it. He thought she was dead, so I don't know why she told Iris that. I could be wrong. I feel like it was really suspicious throughout this season, so this part of the season. So Eve pretty much she starts speaking like out of nowhere, and although Iris in the real world she's saying what she's saying, so Iris is adding up and stuff, and Kamilla knows that, and Cisco returns after his break of him being stressed out and working too hard, and it turns out that the whole party was for Wally instead of Cisco. So the party is pretty much over, and then Barry and Wally uses speed to clean up the place, and then Barry has a hiccup in his powers and he just falls, and he's not telling Wally what's going on. I feel like that's one of the problems with Barry in this episode. He just doesn't open up to the other characters. He doesn't tell them what's wrong. I feel like he's so he feels like he can handle everything himself, but in reality he really can't, because of the crisis, this whole thing of the bad guys having different faces and all. There's this character called Turtle that slows down people around them, and she injured this woman is the new Turtle. She's Turtle too, so she pretty much ages another lady, so she has two abilities. She can slow people around her and age somebody really fast, to the point where she basically kills her right down on the floor, and then she just walks away. So CCPD and Barry and Cisco head to Judas and see what's going on, and they obviously figure out that it's Turtle 2 that's behind all this, because that's what Cisco figures out immediately. This episode Natural tells Cisco about the doppelgangers. He's been seeing them, and he's asking Cisco if any of them survived through crisis, and Cisco said that any doppelganger should have been gone by now. Like they should have disappeared in some way by now. Because of all this, which is interesting to think about. The natural has to feel that way. He has to feel that way. He feels that some ways that he feels that it's still there. There's still the world is still there. And we see in Iris's office that Kamilla takes a photo of Iris and Wally, and Iris tells her to delete that photo because she's not really Iris, so she deletes it. Kamilla deletes it, and then later on it turns out that the photo is not deleted, and she finds out that that's not really Iris, and then we see that Iris blasts Kamilla with the mirror gun, and she turns and she disappears. But in this episode we see that Barry uses the Tachyon enhancer to enter the Speed Force, and he finds out that him and Wally find out that the Speed Force is dying because of what he did in Crisis. He used the Spectre, gave him his abilities he gave him Spectre energy to go into the Speed Force so he can save Crisis, which is a really great reason for him to use his speed, and a really great reason for Barry to have the Spectre energy to see really needed at that time. So it's understandable why Barry would need to use that speed at that time, and that's what unfortunately that's what's causing the Speed Force to die. But at the same time, I feel like if Barry felt something going on, I feel like it would have been better if he would just told the team immediately, maybe to try to prevent it, which makes Wally really angry that he's mad at Barry for not telling him and such, and he speaks to Joe, and he said Joe is like pretty much calming him down because he doesn't want Wally to be so upset, because Joe tells Wally that when Wally first got into his life, he was angry and upset at everything, and I feel like that's what he's feeling towards Barry, and I really enjoyed this episode because he really calms Wally down in a way that Barry turned. He really guides him and really helps him understand why Barry feels this way. I feel like Wally now understands that Barry does feel responsible, and Barry does feel responsible now because he had to do what he had to do during crisis, but at the same time he drove. That's not the point. The point is that he should have told his team what was going on. He would have prevented the Speed Force from dying. So in this episode, Wally actually heads off, and before he leaves, he tells Joe to watch out for Iris, because Iris has been acting up around her and everything like that. And Joe does, and now Joe's understanding that Iris isn't really herself. That's really great that somebody's telling somebody something about Iris. Now everything that is Iris' storyline moving forward and such. So it turns out that Reverse Flash is within. He's pretty much natural as now Reverse Flash now. So Barry finds a way to trap him into the prison box thing they have in store lab. So it's great that they did so in the nick of time. Do you guys think that the Team Flash really needs to pay attention to the spectral energy and such, because I really feel like that's not really necessary to do so. In this episode, we see that Cisco is feeling so overwhelmed with everything going on around him. I feel like he feels that the trip that he took was worthless and really did nothing for him. He feels like he's back at square one, and he wants to do this alone for a little bit, and Kaylin introduces him to give him a hand, and he agrees because Kaylin really knows how to talk to him in a way that makes him feel that he is not alone. And I really love that about Kaylin. She really is there for Cisco in a way that is so much better for him. It's because he's trying to find 202 and Kaylin, and at least help him out and such. Yeah, so what I think about this episode of The Flash, I feel like Barry needs to be more self-aware with himself and really talk to the team more about the stuff that he's going through, because if he doesn't, then this could be end up worse for him and his powers to just, if he continues that route of him keeping things to himself, and he does think how far the mirrored Iris will go to do what she wants to do, like missions, and because her character is really being more obvious by every single episode. It feels like she wants to do her mission, but I feel like it's definitely for sure it's gonna backfire on her face, and especially towards Ava. That's pretty much blaming Ava. I'm pretty much blaming Ava for that, because her character, this Ava, she's the one controlling Iris in a way, and controlling, but she's telling her what to do and such. And now that Kamilla's involved now, who knows what's gonna happen. There'll be tension of those characters from here on out. So who knows what's gonna happen. So yeah, let me know what I think about this episode of The Flash, what I think about the way that Wally and Barry uses their powers now, the way Wally uses his powers. So Barry and realizes that Reverse Flash made his own negative Speed Force, and he wants to try to make his own official Speed Force as well. So what I think about Barry doing that, because I feel like Barry didn't actually. I feel like Team Flash actually able to. I feel like they can actually make their own Speed Force. So what I think about Barry make his own Speed Force. I feel like that would be really interesting to see how he will use it and how we can control it throughout from here on out. I feel like that's something that will be really interesting to see, especially with him losing speed or his speed or him losing speed and all that stuff. And do you guys think that in some way how if better energies gonna be involved, how would that tie in to him using his own speed force? What I said about the possibility of that happening. So let me know what I said about this episode in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please watch the other two videos that I have on the right. So if you want to check out the other reviews of the Flash I've done, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.